Canon Malaysia showcased their latest flagship models, which are PowerShot G1X Mark II, PowerShot N100 and Selfie CP910 photo printers. It offers users more powerful and advanced capabilities. Dell finally revealed to Malaysian consumer market the latest Xperia Elite series laptops. Designed with powerful and comfort features in mind, it is aimed to help users at any task. The excitement of Yes to Rio contest has come to the end. Amirul and Muhammad Faisal has been named as the grand prize winners who walk away with an all-expense paid trip to Brazil worth around 50,000 ringgit.
So all the big guns have released their flagship phones for the year, at least in the Android market. HTC, we saw the One M8, great phone. We also saw another great phone in the form of Samsung Galaxy S5. That's also a great phone. But what about these guys? Sony, they've got their flagship one, Xperia Z2 or the Z2. This is a fantastic device. There's so much to love about this. And we just take a look back at the history when the Z1 came out last year. It was a good phone, but it wasn't quite there yet. The screen was a little bit dull. Apart from that, I mean, the camera was great and it worked really well, but there were just a couple of tweaks that were needed. So obviously, huge pressure on the Z2 to perform. And I tell you what, Sony have knocked it out of the park. A great job here. In case you're wondering, I got a few things to show you in terms of the package it can come with. But this, for me, is one of the standout Android phones of the year so far, equally on par with the M8 and the S5. And here's why. Let's talk about the body first. I mean, let's just take a look at the phone. I mean, if you were a fan of that whole glass sandwich phone, you're going to love this, be right up your alley. However, it is a fingerprint magnet, as you can see, on both sides. It will require a lot of cleaning if you don't have, you know, a case for it or anything like that. Just be warned. But it feels nice and sturdy in my hands. The screen itself is about 5.2 inches. PPI is 423. Let me just switch it on for you. And it's pretty nifty. It does look very sharp, and they've done a great job with this. I'll talk more about what technology they're using for the actual screen and the camera later on. Let's just carry on looking around it. Now, obviously, this is a waterproof phone, just like the Z1, so everything is kind of like covered by flaps. So on the left side of the phone, if I just pop it open, we've got the SIM card slot, micro SIM, and of course, we have the USB port. You may notice this is actually a magnetic port. Now, we have this, which is the dock. Now, you can actually charge it just by docking it in like such. So it falls into place, and there's a USB connected here. And Sony have announced that they have some wireless charging for this as well. Now, on the other side, very similar. We have a dedicated camera button. This is obviously really needed because being waterproof, your fingers aren't going to be detected on the capacitive screen when it's underwater, so you have to press that to actually snap away your pictures. There we've got the volume button and, of course, the power button right center. Now that, for me, is really nice. When you're holding the phone like such, it's right in the middle. Not high, not here, not feel like your hand's going to slip, etc. It's right in the middle. You're holding the phone firmly. It's quite big, remember that. It's quite easy to slip out your hands if you have got small ones. And you can just on and off it just like that. And directly above, one thing which I like is having expandable storage. So we have the micro SD card slot on that side. So that's the actual body. Obviously, you can't really take anything off. It's all encased in one. We have the camera right there. More on that later, but suffice to say, if you like the camera on the Z1 or any of the other Xperia phones, you're going to love this one as well. Effectively the same, the 20.3 megapixel camera. So let's test a couple of things out. So what about some of the specs for the phone? Well, it's about 163 grams, so not the lightest, but not the heaviest either. Also, it's got 3 GB of RAM. It's got everything you need. It's got the Qualcomm Snapdragon 801 chipset, and it's clocking in at 2.3 gigahertz. I mean, it's a powerful phone. If you want top-of-the-line specs, this will give it to you in terms of the internal innards. Now, I've got a jug of water right here. So you may know that the S5 is waterproof, but I think that this is slightly more advanced in terms of the waterproofness, and it's really quite fun. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to dip the phone in. I put the screen on. So supposing you're at a pool party with your friends and you just want to chill, so let me just flip it around. Okay, I'm going to put the camera inside here. Aha. So it's good for about 1 meter or so, and it's inside. So whilst it's there, I'm just going to take a picture. The flash is on, and there you go. And we're good to go. Now obviously, I didn't really look when I was taking the picture, it's a bit blurry, but it works fine. I've tested it myself and it's really quite nifty and it comes out working. That's the most important part. So I really am a big fan of this whole waterproof feature for this. I mean, it really does what it says, and probably out of all the phones in the market, I would say this is the best. I mean, you can leave it in here, they say, for about 30 minutes in 1 meter of fresh water. Lucky I got a little towel with me, so I could carry on talking with the phone in there. But it'd be kind of boring if I did, so I'll just take it out and dry it. Okay, you get the gist of it. Let me just clean it off, and you're good to go. The phone is like such. Now, you may have noticed I took a picture, and the camera on this is very nifty, very similar to what you found last year. And on the screen itself, it looks fantastic because Sony have taken their X reality for mobile. They've Triluminos for mobile as well, to really give it a nice look on the phone. I mean, if I show you what it's like behind me like such, it does look absolutely fantastic. I mean, it's almost like reality itself. So in fact, there's 4K video as well. Now, there's been a lot of complaints that if you shoot for more than, say, a couple of minutes, the phone will get very hot and it will put itself into like a standby mode. It is a bit of an issue. The phone does heat up quite a bit at times. I keep it in a case, so I haven't really noticed it too much, but I'm hoping that it can be patched up with some updates perhaps in the future. The time shift is fantastic. Time shift video, time shift pictures, etc. And there's lots of things here all put into the phone. Obviously, Sony have a history of making very decent cameras, and they've managed to implement the technology into this. I mean, the lens here is fantastic. It's using the G lens, 20.7 megapixels. Doesn't get better than that. Well, the Nokia Lumia does, but this does a very, very good job indeed. I have to say, I really enjoy this phone. I mean, it's really quite something. The speakers, I haven't even talked about it, but they've changed it up so it's front-facing speakers as well, similar to the HTC One M7 and the M8, but don't expect the same quality because those speakers, out of all the mobile phones I've ever tested, are probably the best. They're so rich in sound, the bass is good, it's loud without distortion. Speaker-wise, nothing beats that. This does a fair job, but falls very short of what's on offer from HTC. But due credit to them, putting it at the front for me makes a lot of sense. Now, the other thing about the sound, which is interesting, is they've got this digital noise cancelling technology within the phone. Now, it doesn't work with just any headphones. You have to get the official headphones. For example, I've got these here from Sony. So these are the noise cancelling headphones. Now, one thing that doesn't quite make sense for me is the price of the phone within the package, which is what this box is. It's around $2,399. Now, overseas, in some countries, when you buy the Z2, it comes bundled with these noise-cancelling headphones, and you need these in order to activate the technology on the phone itself. Like I said, you can't just use anyone to enjoy that feature. However, here in Malaysia, what we get instead is what I showed you earlier on, the dock. That is our package here. All in, I have to say, Sony done a great job with the Xperia Z2. It's worth checking out. Like I touched on, the price is a bit on the heavy side, about $2,399 with this package. Maybe it'll get cheaper, maybe it won't. 4.5 out of 5 for me for the Z2. Thumbs up. Can't wait to see what they're going to come up with next. Now that we're done, in case you're wondering where I am, I'm at Indulge here at TGV One Time. A big thank you to them for hosting us here today. A great environment for me to play around with the Sony Xperia Z2.